Something that I've noticed a lot of pro engineers do these days is that they'll mix into limiters. Now, people have been doing this for a long time. I'm not going to say it's like something new, but there is a major difference between the proper pros that do it and the amateurs that do it. This is why I need to make this video, to make sure that everyone's aware of what they need to do when they're presenting something to mastering, in the same way that all the pros make sure that they do, basically, is that when you're mixing into a limiter, it's a great thing. You can mix into it, have the limiter on your mix bus so that you can hear roughly how it's going to sound when it's at -8 RMS or -9 LUFS, however you're measuring. So it's a good thing to do that because you can hear how that sound is going to be finished. But the thing that a lot of amateurs are doing, and a lot of people that are doing that makes it sound really bad when it comes to mastering, is they aren't taking the limiter off and presenting me with the files, or mastering engineers with the files unlimited. So what you want it on the mix bus so you can then export that so that A&R man can hear it at the same level that they can hear other tracks, because they need to hear things loud, otherwise they don't understand that it's not loud, and you get what I'm saying. But everyone wants to hear a reference that's loud, which is great for me because then I get to hear what everyone else has been listening to. So I get presented with a limited file, which is the reference that the mix engineer has sent out to the A&R and sent out to the band and everything, and that's his mix or her mix with the limiter on. But what they also do is they then export that without the limiter on, so then you lose about 8 dBs of gain, which then means they can keep the mix dynamic and moving without it being crushed into this limiter compressor, because limiters are compressors. So without that compression and that crush on the end, which means that a mastering engineer has then got much more scope to make the track sound louder, better, and has more time to work around it, because they appreciate that a mastering engineer is doing a great job for them, and they just don't want to give them a slam mix because they want to try and get as much juice out of the track as they can and give it to someone in a different headspace that's more specialised and sometimes has better equipment than they've got. Because if they're all in the box for the whole time and then you go to a mastering guy and you take the limiter off, he might be out the box, might add a bit of analog juice back into it, but then also go back into the box to then put the same limiting on that the mix engineer did, and so it all kind of comes out the same level or louder, but you've still got this kind of other mastering engineer's sound on there, which has made it sound, taking it that extra 10-20% of what they already had. So the main thing out of this little video is to tell you, when you're mixing, by all means mix into the limiter, but make sure you have two versions, one without limiter, one with the limiter, and the limiter one, always name it reference, so that then the mastering guy knows that's my reference track that they were listening to, this is the mix, now where do I go from that? So that's how I'm working every day, that's how the top pro mixing guys are working all the time, so it's a really great way for you to work too, if you're not already a pro mix guy watching this, obviously. If you've got any really good tips like this, please let me know in the comments below, and go to streaky.com, sign up to my newsletter, which is the Audio Anoraks newsletter, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.